Let's get right to it, Tom. The focus is on your home state of Alabama. Roy Moore versus Doug Jones, the both of them going at it there. The election less than 24 hours away. And of course, white conservative evangelicals, they don't care if Roy Moore is an alleged pedophile who can't go to a mall there because he was hitting on young girls. They are supporting him. Donald Trump gave him big time endorsement over the weekend. The Republican National Committee, they're dumping thousands of dollars into the race. The NRA is backing Roy Moore. Doug Jones is trying to turn out white folks of conscience in Alabama. He's also going to need a significant black turnout in Alabama. Doug Jones joins us right now. Doug Jones, good morning.
Good morning, Roland. How are you today?
Doing great. Over the weekend, of course, Cory Booker, Senator Cory Booker was in Alabama. You have been trying to get African Americans out. I'll ask you very simple. Obviously, we know the difference between you as well as Roy Moore. What difference will you make in the lives of African Americans from Alabama if you are in the United States Senate?
Well, Roland, thanks. First of all, thanks for having me this morning. I appreciate the opportunity to come on. Look, I believe for the first time in a generation that the African-American community will actually have a partner for the entire state of Alabama. You know, we've got Congresswoman Sewell, who's doing a great job down in the 7th District, but they need a voice in the Senate. She needs help. And I think my history has been one of inclusion and working across party lines and across and with folks. So we have, the whole Black Belt area needs help. Their unemployment there is higher than in most places of the state. The HBCUs in Alabama continue to need help to make sure that they are as thriving as they have been in the past. The bottom line is that they know that they've got a partner. I think I've been there. I think my history demonstrates that. Certainly, you're looking at Roy Moore and just, putting aside the allegations about the women that have come forward. He's had a history of not inclusion. I mean, his latest revelations about comments he's made that this country is better off if we get rid of all the amendments to the Constitution that passed after the Bill of Rights, which would include the 13th, 14th, and 15th, and women's suffrage. I mean, we just don't need that kind of exclusion. So I think that we have seen tremendous support in the African-American community among everyone from the community leaders and preachers to just folks on the street when we go through Selma and Hale County and those areas. We've got a tremendous amount of support because I think that everyone knows they've got a real partner in Doug Jones.
You also, of course, have a significant number of HBCUs there. What is your agenda for them if you're elected to the United States Senate?
Well, I think that
especially in the state that's 49th in education.
Absolutely, absolutely. It starts really at the bottom. I think we've got to give every child in this state a quality education, regardless of the zip code that they live in. And we don't have an equal education system in this state right now. We've got to make sure that those kids in the rural areas have a good infrastructure and good access to broadband, and we bring it on up to the four-year colleges and the HBCUs to make sure that they've got the funding, to make sure that their Pell Grants continue to be funding, that college, that kids have that college assistance that they need to get that great college. Our HBCUs have contributed so much to the state of Alabama, so many leaders. We have got to do everything that we can to just make sure that those systems, those colleges, those universities stay in place and are as strong as the University of Alabama or Auburn. And it's not just football. It's not just the fun time you have at the Magic City Classic. It is that basic education that all kids need. And I think that they're providing that now. I want to make sure that the funding and the strength of those universities remain the same and strengthen them even more.
Are you even shocked at how white conservative evangelicals just refuse to accept any common sense when it comes to Roy Moore? I mean, when you look at Vice News had a piece the other night on HBO where folks literally said, hey, you had some parents who would have been very happy that a DA was trying to get with their daughter who was 14. I mean, it's it's hard to fathom that you still have 70+% who still are backing Roy Moore with all these allegations and his frankly ridiculous denials. How do you cut through?
Roland, well, I tend to agree with you, but at the same time, we have become such a partisan country right now. We have such a political divide, and that's based in part on the media. It's based in part on the fact that the political leaders have reinforced that partisan political divide that we've got here. And so there's so many people who just don't want to believe that they've seen leaders and they just believe, they just don't want to. It's hard to accept that someone who has been in the state as long as Roy Moore has would have actually done that kind of had engaged in that kind of disturbing conduct. So the way we've been approaching that is that we have been, continually reminding people not just of the fact about the disturbing conduct with women, but his entire history of getting kicked out of office twice.
Doug, I got to ask you.
He has said about women. Yeah.
But Doug, I got to ask you this. You're a Christian. And how does it make you feel to have white Christians in that state act as if you literally are evil, satanic? And that's really how they sort of juxtapose these two, as if Roy Moore is this Christian warrior and you're the devil incarnate. I mean, that has to be offensive to you.
It is. It's incredibly offensive, not only to my faith, but it also is offensive because I'm a husband, I'm a son, and I'm a father of a daughter and 2 granddaughters, and it's incredibly offensive. But at the same time, I've just got to make sure that we've stayed in our lane to try to get our messages across. The only way I think you can do that, Roland, is you can't cut through the rhetoric. You can't match rhetoric and accusation by accusation and name-calling by name-calling. You've got to talk to people on issues that I think that really matter and get them to see that on those issues that matter to them every day, when they sit down at their kitchen table, when they get up in the morning, you know what? I forget who, someone told me the other day, it's been said that when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're not thinking about whether you're a Republican or Democrat. You're thinking about your health care. You're thinking about your job. You're thinking about your education for your children and those things that are matter.
Judge Jones? Yes. What are you guys doing in terms of voter suppression tomorrow? That is a big question for African Americans going to the polls tomorrow. Are you prepared for this?
Yes, ma'am. Look, we've been around this block before in Alabama, so We've got teams of folks that are there. We know where the problems have been in the past. We feel like that we've got a real good plan in place to make sure that doesn't happen. There'll be instances pop up, but this is, a big election. This is certainly not our first rodeo, right. So we've been planning for that.
Right. Doug Jones, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Black folks a bunch. Black folks in Alabama, Trayvon can vote. Ayanna Jones can vote. Rekia Boyd can vote. Y'all better vote because you do not want that crazy, evil Roy Moore representing you in the United States Senate, because that's not a Christian. That's a shameless, despicable man. Teach these white evangelicals a lesson in Alabama.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.